Hey everybody, this is Justin with your empowerment report for Libra. I am reporting to you at the very top of the second flat iron here in Boulder. I have it behind me. It's a beautiful day, still snow on the ground, so it was took twice as long to get up here. But I wanted to share a message as I've been deep in thought during most of this trip. But, I've been thinking a lot about a couple major transits that we have going on, and that is Uranus moving from Aries into Taurus, which has already happened. We probably already felt that, many of you in a really big way. You probably feel it the most when it shifts into signs. And then the super full moon in Libra. It's our one of two full moons coming up here in the near future. And the reason why I wanted to share is it's affected me in pretty big ways. I am a Taurus sun, but I do have my Libra moon, Libra rising, and I have my Libra in Pluto. So for those of you that follow astrology, enough said. So some examples of Uranus in the 7th going into the 8th. The 7th house is obviously relationship. Uranus is shock, great change, unexpected events. I feel Uranus kind of knows what's best for everybody and will shake us loose from whatever situations that are no longer serving our highest or greatest good or have become unsupportive in our growth. So Uranus, could be viewed as, I think every situation should be viewed as neutral. There is no positive or negative, because even the negative situations that we experience, the shocking situations, did bring value to our life in some way. But an example of the difference between the 7th and 8th is, let's say you have a best friend that you've known for years, and he moves 2,000 miles across country. The relationship doesn't end, it changes. But obviously, it's a shock to your system. It's hard to deal with, but you can accept it and wish them off well. 8th house transit gets a little more difficult. So let's take that same situation, and let's say instead of a best friend, let's say you meet someone, you fall in love, get married, and it's a very strong bond in the relationship. And then your partner gets a call and is called to the Peace Corps and needs to go away for 2 years. Imagine how that would feel. It could be, Scorpio is death, taxes, and sex, so it could be a situation where you're with someone and your partner has a death in the family and you have to help her through that process, he or she through that process. So that's kind of some of the differences. Some other shakeups in the 7th house could be unexpected breakups, maybe you're pregnant unexpectedly. So all of those changes are about to be changed and be manifest in your life in a much different way. Now I want to talk about how do you handle those situations. Well, the super full moon is going back and looking at those situations or relationships, and some of those, we'll call them destructive situations. Why were they destructive? Now you contracted the situation, so it was for your soul alignment and evolution, and you agreed to it. The difference is the fact that it's the wisdom that came from these relationships. And for Libras, my advice is, don't ever stop loving the way you do. It's incredibly charming. It can be very motherly at times, from the thought. Very sincere. I think the message is temperance, and a few things to consider is it's okay to give those feelings, and Libras have a tend to give all of themselves to people, and that's okay. I think it's okay over time. I think when our heart gets heavily invested in something, it's 2 feet in the sandbox, and 1, not everyone might be ready for that. 2, not everyone might understand that. 3, it's okay to give that when it's deserving. And 4, it's okay to give that when that energy is reciprocated. I think a big thing for Libras this year is not to run to the rescue and maybe be more cautious and temper how they show love. And then you might attract something a little bit differently. So don't change the way who you are, because what that type of love you offer is very special, and it is a unique quality. And there are people out there that are accepting of it, or grateful of it. But temperance, and who's deserving of which, I think the reason why some of those unexpected relationships ended up being so hard is because no matter if it was a 6-month situation or a 2-year situation, the Libra gave all of themselves, no matter which cause it was. So no matter what the breakup was or the ending, you kind of have to go through the same exact process because all of yourself was involved in that situation. So again and again, it's not to say don't do that. You definitely don't want to not lead with your heart, but just temper who you give that to. So, it's kind of a gnarly month. I've already felt a lot of big changes in relationships in the last just 30 days have been pretty abrupt and swift. But I think what we are is we're kind of clear in our relationships. I think, the good way to look at it is who in your life is a wing fluffer, or who's building you up, who compliments you, who inspires you to grow, who challenges you, and then who are the wing clippers, who is cutting you down, who is using you, who is taking from you at all times. I think what happens is we've seen some of those relationships go away, and we've seen some new relationships come in the last 30 days that are more of what we want in our life, in our reality. So, those relationships you could, you could further grow and add water to seed those relationships. And then as far as the wing fluffers or wing clippers, right now it's with the supermoon, we're in the spotlight right now. It's showtime for all Libras, and what I've been telling a lot of people is you either get on the train or you get off the train. And let's say you have a boat in your life that holds 50 passengers, but yet you have 400 people in your life that you care about, or acquaintances. It's time to take the elite and build a tribe that you could vibe and thrive and be alive with. So, keep your head up, Libras. Whatever leaves in your life, it's okay. Sometimes you need to empty your cup in order to fill it back up. But I just really wanted to be there for everybody during this time and help bring some perspective. But, it's the Libra show, and bet on yourself this year. Lead with your heart, just temper it. This is Justin signing off from Boulder. I'm not your guru, I'm not your coach, I'm not your guide, I'm your aide, I'm your angel in disguise.